This is our week 12 lecture. We'll be covering venir and a passé composé of verbs using être. Again, I will just click through the slides that are our story. I've had some people say for some reason that they're not able to access the story in the homework link, but I can either send it to you directly or you have it available here. Here's our little joke for this week. Cottage French pancakes give me the, well, if you say it correctly, it doesn't make sense, crepes, but, you know, crepes. Little Halloweenish humor. Our idiom for this week is être dans la lune, literally to be in the moon. The meaning is just kind of to have one's head in the clouds, which is an idiom itself, but just to daydream, kind of lose focus. Sometimes you'll see in expressions that they use tomber, to fall, but the meaning is the same. So you'd say, oh, pardon, je pensais à autre chose, j'étais dans la lune. Sorry, I was thinking of something else, I was daydreaming. Or faites attention, tu es dans la lune ou quoi? Pay attention, look out. Do you have your head in the clouds or what? So that's how we would use it. So then, because you understand that, now you can understand this meme. Quand tu tombes de la lune en classe pour 2.9 secondes. So he's starting with 2 plus 2 equals 4. Just 2.9 seconds of distraction, and then all of a sudden it turned into this. And we had some students say that they felt that deeply. Our just an expression to learn, kind of like our little cultural note this week, is when someone sneezes, you say à tes souhaits if it's somebody that you're familiar with, or à vos souhaits if you're being polite. Literally, it means to your wishes, but this is what we say when somebody sneezes, and I guess it's wishing you good health, kind of like we have the bless you in English. Quiz review. This one is a very kind of general quiz. Let me see if I can straighten that a little bit. Be able to answer questions about yourself using reflexive verb properly. So if the question says, what time do you wake up? Then you would say, I wake up, or I wake myself up, using your reflexive verb, reflexive pronoun properly. What time do you go to school? Something like that. You'll have those questions and you'll answer it yourself. There's a lot of original writing in this particular quiz, probably more than we've had in any so far. You'll have to know your Lesson 7 vocabulary well enough to be able to tell a friend what they should do on their vacation using il faut. So while you had past participle vocabulary set and vacation vocabulary set, this one will just be knowing the vacation one well enough. So il faut, like if you want to tell you should go on a cruise, you have to go on a cruise. Il faut faire une croisière. Remember that il faut, just impersonal verb, this is the only way that it is, the only form, and then the whatever verb that follows is going to be in the infinitive, and then the rest of the sentence of what they mean, what you think they should do, suggest strongly. You'll also have pictures. This will be kind of like the last, one of the homework exercises, where you will just tell what people did or did not do, ask the question in the affirmative and the negative. Remember that the ne and pa go around the conjugated auxiliary verb, and if it's the auxiliary verb and the subject pronoun that get inverted, and so then that's what would be negated, and then you would continue on with your past participle of your verb. So you'll need to know those also. Our section this week, our vocabulary deals with like a mystery. So we've got le voleur, the robber, le pistolet, the gun, le complice, the accomplice, les empreintes digitales, a fingerprint. And you can kind of go through these. I love Perry Mason. I love old like mystery shows, just because I don't like blood and stuff like that. But so bringing in a little bit of old school culture here too. So we've got le tribunal would be the court, and le procès would be the trial. Le procureur, so if you don't know the cast, then it kind of doesn't make a lot of sense to you, but le procureur is the prosecutor, le témoin is the witness, l'avocat, la défense, the defense attorney, and le juge is the judge. Some of these are very similar, like le jury, that's pretty easy. L'accusé, the accused, and you can kind of see that past participle here, giving it the ed. La prison and le policier, bringing in another old school show. Our new verb this week, and this has been added to your verb list, is venir, which means to come. It is an irregular verb, but again, we have a group of irregular verbs that all kind of act the same. So we've got je viens, tu viens, il, elle, on vient, nous venons, vous venez, il, elle viennent. So you'll memorize these. Other verbs, let's see, well, seeing it in action would be à quelle heure tu viens à l'école? What time do you come to school? Je viens à 8h40. Well, we're supposed to be sitting and opening then, but you know, whatever time you get to school. Je viens à 8h40. Quand venez-vous chez moi? When are you? Obviously, it's going to be a group because you're inviting them over to your house. Nous venons après entraînement. We're coming after. This is like practice, sports practice. Elle vient à 9h, mais il ne vient que lorsque 10h. She is coming at 9 o'clock, but he is not coming until 10 o'clock. So that's kind of seeing the conjugated forms in context. Other verbs that are conjugated like venir are devenir, which means to become. Elles sont devenues amies. They became friends. Revenir, to come back. Nous revenons toujours dans cet hôtel. We always come back to this hotel. And se souvenir de, to remember. Here's a reflexive verb because this is your own memory, and I think it's kind of neat that when you go somewhere, a lot of times people will buy a souvenir, which in French, un souvenir is a memory, like actually a memory. The verb souvenir means to remember, and how cool is it that you buy un souvenir, a memory, to remember the place that you went to, souvenir. I think it's really cool. This is a reflexive verb, and some verbs just need a preposition. So in this case, we've got je me souviens. Souvient or souvenir is conjugated just like venir, and then the me agrees with je, so we've got our reflexive pronoun right there. Je me souviens de notre rencontre l'année dernière. I remember our meeting last year. This verb changes a little bit though when you have, venir changes a little bit whenever you add de. Now it means an action just completed. So venir by itself means to come. Venir de is something just happened. So je viens de manger. This isn't necessarily like past tense. This is like something that literally has just happened. And this is how they express it in French. Je viens, venir, conjugated in the present. Je viens de manger. I just ate. Whatever the infinitive verb that follows is the thing that just happened. Il vient d'écrire une lettre. He just wrote a letter. Okay. And it's just the apostrophe here because écrire begins with a vowel. Okay, so last lesson we learned verbs that use avoir to form the passé composé. That is most French verbs, but we do have a select number of verbs that are conjugated, to form the passé composé, use the verb être. Same process, you still conjugate être in the present tense, just like we've done since like second or third week of French 1. And then, but these verbs, so the next few slides are going to be some ways, because it's just certain verbs that are conjugated using être. Different ways for you to remember. One popular way is la maison d'être, the house of être. And so you'll notice arriver, aller, venir, to arrive, to go, to come, retourner, return, entrer, to enter, tomber, to fall, rester, to stay, descendre, to go down, monter, to go up, rentrer, to re-enter, revenir, to come back, sortir, go out, partir, to leave. So you'll notice that all of these have to do with coming and going. The two verbs not represented here that are also conjugated with être are naître, to be born, and mourir, to die, and those also have to do with coming and going. So that might be an easy way to sort of remember, hey, is this verb have anything to do? Well, falling and staying. I don't know. It's movement. But not danser. Anyway, so we've got this to remember. There's also a very popular way using this, what's the word, acrostic? Dr. and Mrs. Vander Tramp. Just, something you need to know if you're taking French, because French students all over the United States, or high school students taking French, are also learning this, so you're part of the group. Some people can easily remember the acrostic, but forget what the verb they mean. So I don't know, just find which way works for you. Devenir, revenir, monter, rentrer, sortir, venir, arriver, naître, descendre, entrer, retourner, tomber, rester, aller, mourir, partir. This has all of them, but it's like 16. Because again, it's included like venir and the verbs that act like it, venir, devenir, and revenir. Another way to remember is using advent. It's a little bit shorter acrostic. Retourner doesn't really have a letter represented, but just remember that one also. But this one is kind of set up a little bit conveniently, because these are the opposites. Arriver, partir, to arrive, to leave. Descendre, monter, to go down, to go up. Venir, aller, and so on. You can see it's just, birth, death, naître, mourir, entrer, sortir, enter, to leave, tomber, rester, to fall. To fall and to stay. And in this case, then you would just remember that you're also adding the verbs that act like venir.
Yes, sir.
Or,
now tell me your name again so I can get it plugged in my phone.
Sorry about that. When être is the helping verb, the past participle agrees with the subject. This is something that's different between the être past participle and the avoir past participle. The avoir past participles just stay the same. It's the past participle, regular or irregular, it just stays the same. But when être is the helping verb, then it's going to change a little bit, just like the same format of with nouns that agree, or with adjectives that agree with their nouns. The way that you'll learn the past participle, it's already in the masculine singular. If it's masculine plural, you just add an S. If it is feminine, you're going to add an E to the past participle, and if it's feminine plural, you just add ES. So then it sort of tells you just right away, that it all agrees. For example, il est arrivé. Arrivé, this is just the past participle, just like it is. He arrived. Elle est arrivée. She arrived. We just add the E to the past participle because it's feminine singular. Ils sont arrivés. We just add an S because it's masculine plural. Elles sont arrivées. Add an ES because it's feminine plural. Again, être is conjugated in the present to agree with the subject. And then it's the past participle that is kind of modified to also agree with the subject. And this is exclusively être, not avoir. These are the past participles of the verbs. These are all of them. Some of them are regular, like retourner works just like the regular ER verbs, in that it's just the accented E. Entrer, sortir, descendre. These all function just like their regular, like their group does to get the past participle. But then you also have a couple of irregular verbs, like naître becomes né in the past participle, mourir becomes mort. Again, rentrer, tomber, monter, devenu. Some of these, again, you just have to remember the irregular because you've already got to memorize this small group that uses être in the passé composé. But again, you kind of become familiar with them whenever you get used to the idea of, does this have to do with coming or going? Je suis parti. When you see this, is the je in this sentence masculine or feminine? You can pause if you want to think about it, but I'll just go ahead. Because, whenever you look at the past participles and you just see that the past participle of partir is parti, then you recognize that an E was added, so this je is feminine. Nous sommes arrivés. Is this nous, the we, made up of 2 boys, 2 girls, or a boy and a girl to get this plural. The clue that we have is that es has been added to the past participle arriver with just the accented e, so then we know that this is 2 girls. Vous êtes parti, vous êtes parti, vous êtes parti, vous êtes parti. How can we have different endings for the same vous? Well, we will remember that vous can either be singular when you're addressing someone formally, or it can be plural. So if you're addressing a man or someone formally, then it's just parti. If it's a lady that you're speaking formally with, then it's got the e. If it's plural group of guys or mixed group of guys and girls, then we just added the s. So and so on. So that's why those would function like that. Here we were guessing. Our choices are la fille, les filles, le garçon, les garçons. So you're just going to look at the clues here. Est arrivé au commissariat. Who arrived at the police station? Out of our choices, it's la fille, because this is singular and we've added the e. Sont venus à la banque. So we can already, because this is plural, we can eliminate la fille and le garçon. So we just have les filles et les garçons as our options. Because we see an es, then we know that this is les filles. On and on. And you can take a look at these, pause to see which ones that, see if you get this correct. Okay. To form the negative, it's the same process as with aller, in that ne and pas go around the conjugated helping verb, and then past participle, which would agree. This one is just a boy who's going to the beach, or who went to the beach, or who didn't go to the beach actually. And so the rest of the sentence continues. Nous sommes partis, nous ne sommes pas partis. Again, same process as with avoir. To form the interrogative, we've got vous êtes devenu riche. You become rich, or you became rich. We'll just, same process as avoir, invert the verb, the helping verb, auxiliary verb, and with the subject pronoun. So we've got êtes-vous devenu riche? Did you become rich? Elles ne sont pas restées. And then to negate that, again, we've inverted the sont and elles and sont are subject and verb, and then just negate that part because we can't separate it. Ne sont-elles pas restées? And then we've got the es that agrees with our feminine plural. Okay, if you have any questions, feel free to ask.